Hello everyone, this is Nitpicking Nerd, and this is just a quick update video. First of all, just to let you know I'm still alive, because a few people have asked me that, so I want to reassure everyone that I'm alive and fine. The last year has been pretty crazy in my country, and especially the last month has been totally nuts, and obviously it affects my life and my free time, and it is the main cause for why I've been making a lot less videos than I want to make. And it's not just because of the war, there are all kinds of private family matters as well, but the war is a big factor as well, because there were a lot of sleepless nights and sirens waking you up. I actually live in the very north of Israel, so especially recently there has been a lot of barrages, and I also live in an old building which doesn't have what we call a safe room, because in most new buildings there is one room which is highly reinforced, but because I live in an older building and also at the top level of the building, meaning it's very dangerous if something falls on it, so I have to basically run a few levels down in the staircase to be in the middle of the building to be safe. So every time there's an alarm, if it's in the middle of the night, sometimes I have to run downstairs. At least there are a few advantages. First of all, getting to know my neighbors, who usually I don't really talk with that much, but now we're all kind of like a family. And also, it's been getting me into shape, because I keep having to run a few levels down and then having to go back again, and so sometimes a few times a day. So at least it's getting me into shape. And I'm not really scared or nervous, because most of the rockets they fire on us do get intercepted. There are very loud explosions in the sky, but I know that it's not really that dangerous as it sounds. But just to be on the safe side, I cannot stay in my apartment, and so there were a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of wasted time just sitting in the stairway in the middle of the building, just waiting to be able to come back up, and so there's just less time overall. So anyway, I don't really want to talk about the war on this channel, because that's not what this channel is about. Maybe I'll do that on a separate channel, and I'll give a link to those who want to hear it, but it's not really the topic of this channel. I want to keep this channel free from politics and all the negativity and all of that. So just a quick update on my videos. I'm still always working on them. I just don't always have the time to put them together, meaning I literally have hundreds of folders of all kinds of funny ideas for funny edits or compilations, and I'm always gathering materials and putting them in the right folders. I just don't have the time to put it all together. Eventually I will, and the biggest edit I really want to do, and it might take a long time, is my Picard fan edit, which I promised to you guys, which is something which I really want to do, but it is a pretty big editing job, so it might take a few months, because it's simply physically a lot of materials to go through. And especially in season 3 of Picard, I'm making a very big change which will require me to create brand new special effects, basically, and that is turning the changelings, the villains of season 3 of Picard, in my version, in my fan edit, they will be the conspiracy bugs from season 1 of TNG, which I just think it's a better idea. I think it will feel a lot better in the end. Now, it is a very challenging idea to make, because I have to show it. I cannot just imply it and not show anything. So I will have to physically create new special effects to show the conspiracy bugs at least a few times, and I will try to make it look as good as possible. And some parts I might have to physically film some footage to insert it into it. For example, that scene when they showed those Section 31 scientists experimenting on the changelings. In my version, those experiments will be on the conspiracy bugs, and then I will have to show the conspiracy bug taking over that woman who became Vadik, and I think it will make a lot more sense. The way they explain it in Picard is that that changeling took the appearance of its own torturer to remind herself of her hate, something like that, which doesn't make any sense. And especially when Vadik was communicating with other people in the galaxy, and even with Starfleet, how come no one tried to scan her face and compare it with other people? How come no one figured out that she looks exactly like that scientist woman who went missing? So how come no one figured out that it's the changelings? And so a lot of things in season 3 of Picard, which was a pretty good season compared to the other two, but there are still a lot of things that kind of annoyed me, because I thought they can be better, either more logical or simply more fun. And so in my version, it will simply be that one of the conspiracy bugs infected that woman, and then she called herself Vadik. And so all the parts of them being changelings, in my version, they will be conspiracy bugs, which I think is just going to be more fun, and it will give you a fresh feeling to see it. And so season 3 is definitely going to be the most challenging, and also it will be the longest edit, because the first 2 seasons I'm basically going to turn each season into a short movie. Instead of 10 hours episodes, it will be like a 2 or 3 hour movie each season. But season 3, which is relatively good, will probably be 2 movies, because there are a lot more fun stuff that I want to keep and not as much bad stuff that I want to cut out. And it will be very challenging to rework some of the scenes to show that it's the conspiracy bugs instead of the changelings, and so also the dialogue. I might have to finally learn to use one of those new AI softwares that can create people's voices, and that way I can make them say whatever I want the characters to say, and that will make things much easier than the way I used to do things, of splicing words together to create new sentences, which was fine in comedies. Sometimes when it was chunky, it made it even funnier, but here I want to make it as seamless as possible. And so I'm kind of worried about all the parts in which I will have to show the conspiracy bugs, and especially in that experiments scene, I will have to create brand new footage to show it. Maybe I will physically film myself experimenting on models of those conspiracy bugs. And I'm actually looking for places where I can physically get copies of those conspiracy bugs. I think they were around for sale somewhere in the past, because I did find all kinds of images of that on Google, but currently I'm unable to find it anywhere. If any of you know where I can find those conspiracy bugs or something similar to that to buy it, let me know. If not, I guess I will have to either 3D print it or maybe physically create molds of them or something, because I need at least a few models of that for my footage, both for the special effects, which maybe it will end up looking a lot like that season 1 episode when they were basically stop motion animation. Maybe that's the way I will have to do it myself, because I'm not that good with CGI special effects, but maybe it will look good. So I will have to start with that to simply see if it's even possible to do it, because without at least a few scenes to actually show it, it will not really be that cool. Simply if I just make a dialogue to say that there are conspiracy bugs without actually ever showing them, that will be kind of annoying. So I simply have to create a few scenes to physically show them to make it all interesting. And as for the Borg in the very end, I guess I will have to keep it, because I don't think it's possible to completely cut it out, but a lot of things will be reworked and shortened, paced up, because instead of a season it will be 2 short movies. So a lot of things will have to be sped up, all the unnecessary fat will be trimmed out, and it will have a much better pacing. And all the little things that annoyed me will be cut out, and all the fun stuff will stay in. And so I think it will be a very fun edit, and especially with the change I'm making, I think it will be much more interesting for people to see, because those who have seen the season already will not really be that interesting to simply see a shortened version of it. But I think the changes I'm making will make it much more interesting, because it's like an alternate version of the story. It will be basically the same story, but with this different twist. It will feel much fresher, I think, and maybe even better than the original. I don't know yet. I don't yet know how well it will work, but hopefully it will. But it will take a long time to finish it. So maybe specific scenes I will finish, I will upload them on YouTube to show them off. And when the entire fan edit is finished, I will have to find a way to make it available somewhere. It will not be on YouTube, obviously. I cannot put that long of a video on YouTube, not even in parts. That will cause trouble, but I will find ways to share it. Maybe I'll just physically send copies of them directly to my fans on DVD discs, the same way I did with my old parody edits when they got taken off YouTube for a while. And so I was really annoyed by that after working on them for so long. And so I simply directly mailed DVD discs with all my edits to all my fans, and eventually I did get them back on YouTube, and I spread them out to multiple different channels and in shorter parts and in playlists, and so I did make it available for everyone, even though once in a while some of them get taken down again. But anyway, when it's all done, maybe that's how I will send it to you guys directly, and then you'll have a copy forever and won't have to watch it in short parts, but you can watch the whole thing as a movie. And so I just wanted to let you know that I'm not quitting, I'm not giving up, and I will be making a lot more stuff once I have the time. So hopefully things will calm down soon, and I'll be able to increase the speed of production of my projects. And that's really all I wanted to say. So this was a quick update on what's going on with me. So that's all for now. Let me know what you think and we can discuss everything in the comments below. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.